Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. Thanks for dropping in. If you're watching on replay, thanks for dropping by. So today I am working on Sail Away from Diamond Art Club. It is a picture from Randall Spangler. And I still have my man flu. You can probably hear that my voice is pretty rough. Hi, Carly. So I've borrowed Tammy's side of the table because I have done as much as I can on mine. So she's given me permission to work on her side to bring us up to even. So we are 3 sections up. So we've got another 3 left here. And then we have to decide who's getting to diamond paint because we're going to have to move the canvas down or up depending who's working on it. So we've decided we'll just play it by ear and work our way to the middle and get it finished and then go back to working individual paintings. So I've been using the pen because this is rounds. Hi Virginia, thanks for dropping in. So I tried using tweezers with the rounds and they kept sliding off the drills, just didn't get a decent grip. So I've been using the pen, but when I get to ABs, which I'm doing now, the Aurora Borealis, the drills with the special coating on them, I tried the tweezers and they pick them up, which is kind of weird. So the ABs are okay to pick up with tweezers, but the normal drills are just a bit too slidey. So I'm using tweezers to put these ABs in. There's not that many. It won't be long until I finish this little piece and then we'll move on to the next section. So how is everybody? Has anybody else caught this cold that's going around? Seemingly a lot of people have been getting it in Copenhagen, certainly. I think in Denmark in general. I found out that my boss had it. So I had sent an email to him. Well, not an email, a message to him. It's a black... Oh, sorry to hear that. Oh, that's sad news. But yeah, it's sadly it's part of life. My dad passed 4 years ago now. Yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, there's not a lot I can say. It's one of these things where it's hard to think of anything to say apart from condolences and I'm sorry, and it never seems enough. But yeah, it is. It's definitely a hard time. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to cheer you up. Hi, Robin. Thanks for dropping in. So I'm working on Sail Away by Randall Spangler from Diamond Art Club. It is round drills and it's 119 centimetres wide. So it's a biggie. And for anybody who hasn't dropped in before, I'm working on this with my wife. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Virginia. My mum passed quite a few years ago, and she had rheumatoid arthritis. And by the time she was pretty bad for about 4 years, but I mean, by the time she did pass, I felt the same. She was in an extreme amount of pain constantly, and it was horrible to watch. I've sort of spoke about this, I think, maybe on YouTube, but I've definitely spoke about it with people about how they they sort of drag things out when it comes to people. But if it had been an animal and you took the animal to the vet, they would say the best thing to do is put it to sleep. I'm a strong believer in that when it comes to things that are incurable and where people are in extreme pain. I just think it is so unfair. It's unfair for the person, and it's unfair for the family and friends who are watching. I think it's just, uh, yeah, it's it's something that I think they should use the same thinking as they do when you've got a pet like a dog and it's got something like cancer or whatever, and it's in a lot of pain, and they finally say enough's enough. I definitely think that I wouldn't want me to be in that situation. I mean, I've said to Tammy that I think that when it gets that bad, people should be compassionate and sympathetic to the person and the family. I mean, it's a very, very hard thing, but watching somebody constantly suffer day after day after day after month, that is really, really hard. But mainly for the actual person. Um, I don't see the point. But I mean, that's my view. I know people have got different views on it, but I've never been shy about saying what I think about it. So anyway, we'll change it to diamond painting maybe, try and get something a bit brighter going. Yeah, so this one is a big one, a long one, 119. So my wife diamond paints, for anybody again that's maybe new. My wife diamond paints as well, and we have two drafting tables that face each other. And up until now, or up until this one, we always work on separate pictures. But because this one was so long, we decided to stretch it over the two tables. And I've been working from one side, and Tammy's been working from this side. So we've worked 3 sections up. We used release paper. I've completed the 3 sections up, so I can't reach any higher. So we're going to finish these 3 sections, and then we've decided what we're going to do is just decide who's going to continue that day or that hour or whatever when they've got time. And for example, if it was on this side, pull the picture down so we can reach the next row and work on that. So we'll just work on one row. So Tammy will work on it sometimes when it suits her. I'll work on it when she's not working on it. And we're going to work it that way. We'll do a row on this side and then we'll work from the other side and do a row, and then we'll just have the centre strip left. We really had no idea how long this was going to take. I just need to check Gem's flow because I can't remember when we started it. Just need to find it. We took a guess when we were going to finish it. I think we were just going to start it. Aquaman is almost complete, cool. Justice League is bigger. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely bigger ones, but for us, it's the biggest one for us, 119. It's pretty wide. So where is it? Yeah. So we started on the 5th of November, and when we just started it, people were saying, "How long do you think it'll take?" And we thought, "No idea." That's pretty big. So we took a guess and we ended up settling on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, we thought. But we found out we're used to doing squares and this is rounds. And we found out that it's going a lot faster than we thought. So we've got these three and then 3 full strips. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's finished before Christmas, which is a lot faster than we thought. But we're not setting a target date or anything. It's just as and when. We're coming up to Christmas, so we're probably going to be busy doing other stuff. So things might slow down over the Christmas New Year period. But I'm pretty sure it'll be done long before the 14th of February. So just checking to see what's next. And it is. number 48. 48 is this one. Purple. So did anybody go for anything on the Diamond Art Club Black Friday? 100 new releases on the same day. It's crazy. Ah, I'm wondering why I can't pick it up. It's because it's not ABs. So back to the pen. The edges of the drills must be just slightly higher on the ABs because I can pick them up no problem with the tweezers, but when I go back to the normal drills, they keep sliding. You got 2, so did I. I got 2. Which 2 did you get? As usual, quite a few sold out really quickly. Oh, gift cards, cool. No, I had to buy them, but it was what was it? The Black Friday code gave you 30% off, which is pretty good. So I had one. Yeah, it took me a long time because on Instagram they were showing so many a day. They were giving sort of previews of what was coming out, and for a long time I didn't see anything. And then sort of near the end, I saw one and I thought, oh, I remember voting for that one a while back. Diamond Art Club Fairy, and there is Dragon Girl. Dragon Girl. Is that the sort of black and white one? There was one with a dragon and a woman standing on like rocks, and it was as if she was there was a ray of light coming through her hands and hitting this huge dragon. But I think there was another one that was a more sort of black and white looking one. Can't remember. But months ago, Diamond Art Club will once in a while put out pictures and ask people to vote on ones that they would buy, and they ask people only to vote on ones that they would seriously consider buying because you can't change your mind. And I remember seeing this one and I voted for it and then totally forgot about it, and then it appeared. And got pictures from me. Hang on, find the phone again. That's Tammy. I take it you can hear her. She's in the living room. She's got man flu now. A leather jacket on with dragons around her face. Ah, okay. I can't think. There's so many of them. I can't think. But there was only 2 that I saw that I thought, yeah, I like them. So I went for them and I got both of them. So I was quite pleased. Try to find them. That's the most I've heard of sneezing. The first one is called Pinkie Pie. I'm rubbish at this getting lined up with the camera. It probably won't focus because it's focused way down here. I don't know if it'll refocus. Probably not. But that's Pinkie Pie. It's an axolotl, and its gills are different colours of the rainbow, and its eyes are different colours as well. It's got one green eye, one blue eye. And I saw it and I just thought it was cute. It was different, something very different. Plus, at work, they for Pride Week in Copenhagen, the hotel that I work in, they have a truck that gets all spiffed up and has a DJ playing music and stuff, and they are actually part of the Pride parade. they do up the canteen with rainbow flags and all that type of thing. And I thought this would be quite cool to put up for Pride Week in the canteen at work. So I haven't told them that I've got it. I'm just going to turn up with it in Pride Week. So I've got plenty of time to get this one done. It's actually got quite a few colours. 57 colours and 5 ABs. So just I don't know, something different, little cute one. And then the other one that I ordered is called Springtime Beauty, and it's just 3 birds and a little birdhouse and cherry blossoms and things. So, again, I was thinking about the canteen at work. In the spring, I'll take that one in and hang it up. I'm actually taking another Diamond Art Club one to work on Monday for Christmas time, and it's The Little Tin Soldier, Hans Christian Andersen story, which is quite apt because Hans Christian Andersen is buried in Copenhagen. So that's been done for a very long time. If you've been watching the unboxings and all that stuff, you'll have seen it in the background a lot. If you haven't, that's The Little Tin Soldier, if I can get it right the wrong way. It's not as blurry as that, it's just the camera's not focusing. But it's got, there's mistletoe in between them and snowflakes in the background. So, yeah, Hans Christian Andersen was Danish. He was born in Odense, a place called Odense. And Tammy and I went there during the summer this year, visited the house that he grew up in, the house that he was born in, like a different house. Went to the Hans Christian Andersen Museum, all that stuff. That was really cool. I really like his stories. He wrote a lot of stories, not just the ones that everybody knows, like The Ugly Duckling, The Little Tin Soldier, The Princess and the Pea, The Emperor's New Clothes. Quite a few really famous ones, but there's a lot. Yeah, that was a cool one. That was a cool movie. There's a lot that people haven't heard, so I started actually reading them. I've done some on the YouTube channel. Um, the idea was that I was going to read all of Hans Christian Andersen's stories in chronological order, so read them in the order that they were written. So I've sort of started that, but I forget to add to it. But I think it's 100 and I forget now, 167 or 169 stories. A lot of stories. And they're pretty morbid as well. I was quite surprised. I read The Tinderbox, which was the first one that was published, and it sort of changed my perception of Hans Christian Andersen. It's not all Princess and the Pea or The Ugly Duckling. Some pretty dark stuff in them, people getting beheaded and things. And there's another one that I really like called Big Klaus and Little Klaus. Really clever story, but again, a lot of quite dark humour in them. But I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, next colour. C. C is 41. I need more Anderson diamond paintings. Well, I've actually got. I took a picture of Hans Christian Andersen's statue in Copenhagen, and I got that done as a custom. It used to be in the background. I haven't had it up there for a while. And what was the other one? I had another custom. Oh, it was Newhound, Harbour in Copenhagen. And I've got the little match girl diamond painting. And that's going to be hard. It's one that's just a white canvas with a grid on it, so you don't see the picture. and I was trying to remember the company that I got it from. Heaven and Earth Designs is where I got that one, and I got that because it's the Little Match Girl. It's another Hans Christian Andersen story. When I'm going to get round to doing that one, I have no idea. It just seemed like a good idea at the time, but it's going to be a lot of work because it's like counted cross stitch, so you have to actually count the squares where you place the colours. It's not the same as this where you've got the symbols and all you're doing is putting the colour on the symbol. You have to actually count it, so it's like counted diamond painting, I suppose. It'll take a long time. And I've got a lot of diamond paintings that I really want to do now. A lot of them are Diamond Art Club, to be fair. Just before the Black Friday thing, I got one that I've been waiting on coming, getting re-released. Is it re-released? Restocked. And that was the Pumpkin Herder. I've been waiting months for that to come. And finally I got an email saying it was in stock. And I got it. It's, well, I don't have it yet. It's on its way. I should have it sometime this week. And then I've got these two that I just ordered. I haven't had a shipping notice yet. I noticed that some people already have been getting notices saying that they're on their way. The two that I ordered, for me anyway, aren't on the way yet. But I'm in no rush. As long as I get Pinkie Pie before Pride Week, which is, what, I forget, July or something. And the other one before spring. So I can get them done, ready to put up at work. There's no desperate rush. Yeah, the match got, I can't even remember the size. I'll check it. .65 by 82. So this has got the Heaven and Earth Designs name over it, copyright thing, but I did buy it. This was one that I don't know if, I think Heaven and Earth Designs have changed things a bit since I got this. I've had this for a long time, I think. Can't remember, 2 years maybe. At that time, all they supplied was the canvas, so it was just a blank canvas with nothing. And you had to buy the pattern, so it was like a cross stitch pattern, and it has all the symbols. So it has all the actual the pattern is on the key. You print it out and you can see everything on that, but as when it comes to the actual canvas, there's nothing on it. And then I had to contact another company to get the drills. So I think they started producing some diamond painting stuff where the picture was on the canvas like normal. But I got this one and that was it. It was just the fact that it was like cross stitch. I used to do cross stitch a long time ago, and I sort of thought about it and I thought it'd be quite cool to do a diamond painting the same way. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. Now I'm not so sure. Um, it's going to be a lot of work to make sure that I don't put anything in the wrong place and mess the thing up. But it's the same with counted cross stitch, so I've done that sort of thing before. And it's a lot easier to take off a drill than it is to unstitch, cross stitch, and fix it. So I don't know when that's going to get done. I have a lot that I really want to do. So this is way down the list somewhere. I have, yeah, I have the drills. I ordered the drills from smithsbeads.co.uk in England. Mike sorted all that stuff out for me. So yeah, I've got the drills. And I just noticed there's a couple missing here. Number 35. I've had to turn the light pad way down because the camera just can't handle it. It just brightens the whole thing up, so it's quite dull for me. There's actually 4 that I'm missing. Q again that I just put away. It's nothing new. Where is it? 51. That's the last colour in this. There's 51 colours in this one. And then 9, 23. So what are you going to work on next, Virginia? Do you know what you're going to work on? I usually know, but I change my mind a lot. I start getting near the end of a project and I think, right, okay, I'm going to do this, and then it never seems to happen. But I've decided the next Diamond Art Club I'm going to do is going to be the one or the oldest one that I haven't done yet. Which I bought in 2000. So I've had it for 2 years, over 2 years, 2.5 years, I think. So I've decided to do that one. Not next. I'm going to do a small one. It's not Diamond Art Club next, I think. And then I'll do that one. And then I've got quite a few. I still haven't made up my mind what I'm going to do with them, but I'll wait until nearer the time. So number 42, this is the last one, and then we'll go into a new section. Whoops, I only need one. I'm actually working on one, a small one, with special drills just now, while Tammy works on this. If she's working on this, I'll go round to my side, and I'm working on a special drill one, which won't take very long, but I just thought I'll get some of the small ones out of the way while I'm waiting. That's it. So that's, oh no, it's not. There's another Q. 51. Right, I think that's it. So the way we work it is we use these release papers. Don't use Cooper Diamond. I've never even heard of Cooper Diamonds. I'll need to look that up. People have had popping drills, or popping problems. Yeah, I don't know. Do they do diamond paintings or do they just do drills? I know that there are some companies that just supply drills for stuff. Smith Speed's the one that I got the drills for, the Little Match Girl. They're the ones that did the hard work for the custom for Hans Christian Andersen and the Newhound one, and the Hoverfly, and the entrance to Tivoli Gardens, and something else I can't remember. Basically, they've done all of the customs except one. The very first custom that I got, that was Homecraftology, an 80 by 100. And then I found Smith Speeds, and I think they've done something like 7 customs for me now, I think. So I use them. If I'm doing a custom, I deal with Mike. Right, just double checking. So yeah, the way we work it is we remove the clear plastic film. I hate that stuff. And we put down release paper. And then we work in sections. So when we finish a section, we've got these little rollers, rubber. Initially, I used the kitchen wooden roller, and I would put down a tea towel and then run the roller over just to press the drills in. And I saw these, and I just bought one because I wanted to do a review. Just try it, buy and try. So I bought one, did an unboxing, tried it, and I thought, I actually like this because it's rubberized, so I don't need to put a tea towel down, and it's nearly exactly the size of the release paper. So it's easy enough to work. It's not like a big heavy kitchen roller. So all I do is press the drills down just to seat them. I mean, they weren't sticking up, but just put a bit of pressure on them. And then when I'm finished and I get ready to frame it, I go over the whole thing again. AliExpress portrait of a lady with butterflies. So that's your next one. Cool. I haven't done any butterflies. Tammy's done some. I think the first one that Tammy did was butterflies. She likes butterflies. I don't think I've done any with butterflies in them yet. So that's that section done. So on to the next. This underlaps because what I did was I put them down this section and then the section I worked on the other side, and then I did the middle section last. So these sheets actually sit underneath the sheets above. Normally they wouldn't do that, but it was just the way that I placed them. So just to let you see the picture, or if anybody's dropped in, this is what my wife and I are working on. Sail Away by Randall Spangler from Diamond Art Club. And just now the picture is sitting like that. Yeah, that. And we're on the tail of the airship, I would call it. So I've done probably up to about there on this side. And once we get this strip done, just past the tail, there's the middle section. And I think it's three rows of release paper. And then it'll be finished. It is really nice, but I don't think the camera really picks it up. It's blurry. If I switch the light pad off, you might get a slightly better idea. If I move the light, you can see some sparkle. But I'll get some decent pictures once it's finished. I'll probably post some up on Instagram, just a whip to show how far we've got so far. But I'll get a decent picture. We're going to hang this one up in the living room, so we've got a wall that's basically just waiting on it. That's what happens when I switch the light pad on. The camera just does not like the light. And that is really dull for me, but it's very bright for the camera. So looking for R, which is 17. Which is this color. That one, I've got a few. Um, Justice League is so large, I put release papers down on those and leave plastic. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people work like that. They only put the release paper in the row that they're working. We just take the whole plastic cover off and cover the whole picture. We've got hundreds, I think about maybe 500 sheets of release paper. So doesn't matter how big it is, we've got enough to cover the whole thing. It's just the way we do it. We just cover the whole thing, and then we have table placemats. Again, I don't know who's seen and knows about these things, so I'll mention them. Normally, if I was working on this first one, that's right, yeah. Tammy worked on the Little Tin Soldier. That was the very first time she'd even touched a drill. Because I called that video something like my wife tries diamond paint for the very first time, and it was true. She hadn't touched a drill, she hadn't picked up a pen, she hadn't done anything because we decided to make it as genuine as possible. So she didn't ask me anything about it until we did the video. Well, you probably will remember when I said to her, "So, do you think you're going to take up diamond painting?" There was a sort of silence, and then she said, "Nah." She really thought she wasn't going to diamond paint. And at that time, I was working on the dining room table, and I was starting to get a sore back and sore shoulders and a sore neck leaning over the table. And I'd been reading about people using drafting tables, decided to get one, got one, set it up. Tammy looked at it and then said, "Could you get me one?" And I thought she was joking. I just laughed and said, "Yeah." And she said, "No, seriously." And I said, "Yeah." So we ended up getting another one, and we've had them set up in here ever since. So we spend a lot of time in here. We sit, but usually we have music on in the background, but I can't do that because of copyright. YouTube wouldn't like it, so it's always quiet when I do my videos. But normally we're sitting here listening to music in the background. We'll sit and talk. We've both got iPads as well. Sometimes we'll just be sitting watching different things. But most of the time we sit and talk and listen to music. But as I was saying, normally it wouldn't be this open. It would be covered with these things. And these are table placemats. So if I had been working on this without doing the video, the reason I opened it is just to let people see more of the picture. There would be a mat here. There would be, can't type today. Yeah, don't worry, I can't type most days. And then one here, there'd be one here. So all we would see is this section. So then I've got all my stuff sits on these mats. So I've got the drill case is sitting just out of view up here, and I've got the laptop here. And normally, as I said, this would all be covered, and these trays and things would all be sitting. So we only open up one section and then finish it, roll it, put the mat over the top, lift this section, move the mats. So you only normally see a rectangle as we work. The idea of that is it gives us extra workspace to put things because things can slide, especially on the actual release paper. I'll try to put my pen on it. It's sliding slowly. If I put my tweezers on it. So if we didn't have these mats, everything would just slide to the bottom. So that's partly why the mats are there. But the main thing is it gives us a big work area, and we've only got this little area. Extra protection against hair and dust and all that stuff as well. Plus, it looks neat and tidy. If we're not working on them, the mats actually come over, so it's just one big rectangle of this colour. So it looks nice and tidy as well. Because I do get people asking me, what are those brown things? What is that brown? Well, the last one was, what is that brown paper? It's not paper. Do not put paper on your diamond painting, especially if you've got exposed glue. These are actually, the mats look like they're made of material and they're woven, but they're actually made of plastic. So they're soft and bendy, but they don't create any fibres. If it was material, you can get fibres and dust coming off the material, which would go on the glue, could affect the stickiness of the glue. So if you do decide to go for placemats, make sure they're plastic. That way you don't get any fibres and things coming off them. Diamond painting is the bomb. Yeah, I was surprised just how relaxing it is. I'd read that, like it's relaxing, takes your mind off things, de-stressing, that sort of thing. And I thought, but it definitely is. If I'm in here alone, I tend to sit with headphones on, again, just listen to music, fire up Spotify, get a good playlist, put the headphones on, listen to music and diamond paint. And that's me in my element, totally switched off from everyday stuff. So double check. 17 is R. And that was another thing I was going to mention. Have you ever been working and you've got containers, doesn't matter if it's Tic Tacs or round ones or whatever it is. Have you ever poured drills into a tray and then put the container back, and then 20 minutes later when you finish doing a big section, you've forgotten what colour you were using? I did that quite a few times, and it was really annoying. Then I had to go through the boxes and look at them and try and think, was it this one? Was it this one? Oh yeah, it's that one. So what I do now is I use one of these green trays. So when I pour the drills, I put the container in the green tray. I don't put it, like normally I would leave it lying on the table. That was what I did initially, but every now and again I'd forget and I'd put it back. But what I do now is I put it in the green tray, and that's where they go until I'm finished with the colour. Then I pour the colours back in and then I put it back. Tammy started doing the same thing because she was doing that as well. This little label on this is new because we're both working on the same picture and we both use this green tray thing, and we use Craftmates lockables if we're doing a lot of one colour. So that is this type of thing. I'll move this before it slides. So say maybe I was working on the other side and I was doing 37. So what I would do is, because I can't put all of that in the in this, what I do is if I'm working on the big ones, I set this on top of the number. So I know if I forget, go away and have a cup of tea, come back, think, what was I working on? The tray's sitting on the colour, so I know I was working on 37. But then when both of us started working on the same picture, it could be that I was working on 37 and Tammy was working on 40. So sometimes we'd have two green trays sitting here. So what I did was I made a little label, I put a T in one and a J in the other, and that way we know who it is. Not needed just now because we're both working on the same side. But that's the only thing I use that green tray for. Apart from that, I don't like these trays at all. They don't have a little spout, so they're no good for trying to pour back into a Tic Tac container. The other white ones that you sometimes see have got a little nozzle that fits exactly inside. And again, the other thing that I talk about all the time is the fact that they've got these angled sides, and if you've got them sitting down and you accidentally tap them, they flip over. We use bigger trays, hold a lot more drills, you can spread them out better, and they've got straight edges. So if you tap the sides, you can actually sit your hand on them and they don't flip. If I tried doing that with this one, it's going to move. I mean, the sides especially, it's just a touch and your drills are all over the place and usually they end up in the glue. And then you've got to sit and pick them all back off again. Really, really annoying. So the only thing we use them for is holding the containers while we're working. Question. Thank you for sharing about your mom. Did you get into your crafts more after she passed? I wasn't doing diamond painting then. Try to think. I wasn't doing diamond painting when my dad passed either. It was after he passed that I started doing it, but it wasn't because of that. No, but I definitely can see how it would be a good thing to try and help you just switch off because, well, I mean, you've got so much going on in your head, the emotions, the memories, the what's happening now, and the arrangements for a funeral, and I mean, it's a lot to think about. I don't know if diamond painting would take my mind off it at that point, but definitely soon after it would give me somewhere where I could just listen to music and just relax as much as possible. Um, but no, I mean I've been doing diamond painting since 2019, and Tammy said she's really surprised that I never got bored. Like I'm I get interested in things, and when I do get interested in them, I get really interested in them. Um, and that's what's happened with this. Um, I'll go and buy things just out of curiosity, like, does that actually work? Is that any good? So I'll go and buy it, and then I'll do an unboxing, and I'll try it. Like, I don't try them and then record it. I actually record stuff just as I open the box, um, just to see, does it work? Does it work for me? Would it work for you? That type of thing. Um, so that people don't go and buy things. The main thing that I'm thinking about is the self-feeding diamond painting pen, where you'll see adverts where there's a diamond painting pen and it's got drills inside it, and you can see them, and you'll see the person working, and they just place drill, place drill, place drill, and it looks as if the pen is feeding the drills. I saw an advert for that, and I thought, there's no way that works. So I bought one, and I did a video about it. And the idea was to show people that it was a scam. But then I see other things and I think, would that work? And I did a thing with tweezers. I started looking at tweezers that were meant for other things and thought, could they get used for diamond painting, especially the ones that had magnifying glasses on them? Because I thought that'd be great if that worked. Because I know a lot of people have got problems seeing small stuff. I did a light up diamond painting pen that comes with an adjustable magnifying glass, and it works really, really well. If you've got problems seeing the symbols, I would definitely recommend that. And I wasn't like I didn't get it as a freebie or anything. I mean, I bought it, but I would definitely recommend that if people have got problems seeing. Um, and then I saw these tweezers that had a magnifying glass on them, and I thought, oh, I wonder if that would work. It doesn't. It's not. There's nothing wrong with the tweezers. It's just it's not what they're designed for. You can't get the magnifying glass where you would really need it for diamond painting. If you were pulling out splinters out of somebody's finger or something, it would be perfect, so you can really see what you're doing. If you were doing model work, like small models with small parts, and you had to get them exactly in position, it would work really well. But for diamond painting, it just doesn't work. And then I did the thing with the wax. I spoke about this the last time I did it live, but it's just the way my brain works. So I'm just curious about stuff all the time. Like even the pens. I mean, I used the pink pen for 5 months. Never really thought anything about it. And then I started to see these different shaped pens and stuff. And I thought about my mum about when I saw these things because she had rheumatoid arthritis, and she had it bad in her hands. I mean, she had it pretty much all over, but she had it bad in her hands, and she could not pick up and use a normal pen because it was too thin. It hurt her too much to try and hold it. So she started buying pens, and this is a long time ago. I mean, this is like writing pens, nothing to do with diamond painting. And she, as it got worse, the pens would get thicker. And then I started thinking about people at diamond paint. Um, a lot of people at diamond paint are older, and maybe got arthritis problems in their joints. And I thought thicker pens could help them because I know for a fact that it helped my mum. So I started looking at these custom pens in different shapes and different materials like wood, um, and then the hybrids that are wood and acrylic, and then the acrylic ones, um, and just to compare them. How do they feel? I really like the wooden pens. I like the tactile feel of the wood, and I like this shape. I don't multiplace, so I didn't want a pen with anything in the top. And I like this sort of bulb shape. Um, it's very easy to hold the pen without actually squeezing it. I mean, basically, it's gravity that's holding it there. I'm not doing anything. It's sitting between these two fingers, and then I just set my thumb there, and that's it. I'm not pressing. I'm not squeezing like you would do with a pink pen. You have to hold it. Um, this just sort of balances itself. I mean, you've got to when you place a drill, you've got to sort of use your thumb to stop it going up the way. You're doing some sort of pressure, but you're not constantly squeezing it. And because of the shape, you can vary the grip. You can adjust how thick it is and stuff. And that can help as well where you're not holding the same diameter all the time. You find that if you're holding the same diameter constantly for sometimes hours, you start to get cramps and stuff in your fingers, or it just starts to get uncomfortable. I find that pens that are like this, you can sort of, without thinking about it, adjust your grip, and it helps. I think it helps a lot. So um, I've got a metal pen as well. I've got a glass pen. Again, I just saw it and I thought glass. I need to get that. So I bought this, and this is Tammy's favourite pen. I don't like it. It's solid glass. Nothing wrong with that. But if you look how thin that neck is, I don't think I've got any pink pens lying, but it is very narrow. And for me, it's just uncomfortable to try and hold that. It's so thin. But she likes it, and she likes the weight. I mean, it's heavy because it's solid glass. And it's just a normal diamond painting pen tip. So if the actual tip gets damaged or bent or cracks, you can just pull that out, push in another one that you got with a pink pen. So this is her absolute favourite pen to use. Me, I wouldn't use it. It was really interesting to do the unboxing. It came in a really nice little box. Um, I like the look of it. It's very unusual, but the practical side of it, I wouldn't use it. But she loves it. So again, this is the thing. It's like what I say I like, you might not, and what you like, I might not. But it's the choice thing. It's making people aware that there are multiple choices. There's so many people making diamond painting pens. But again, if you're using a pink pen, you're not having any problems. You might decide, well, I'd rather buy a diamond painting than buy a pen. And again, personal choice. So I've forgotten what I was doing. It is 17. 17 is R. I started down painting yesterday and didn't so yeah, I can totally understand that. It's a way of just switching off, taking a little bit of the pressure off your mind. I mean, I really enjoy diamond painting. I think it's very relaxing. So I do checkerboard all the time, even with rounds, not just squares. It's just a habit. So I do the checkerboard and then go back and fill it in. I find it helps to keep things nice and straight. Oops. Do you guys work on more than one? No. In general, no. I have done it in the past where I've maybe been working on a big one and I just needed a break from whatever it was I was working on. I think I've done it once. Just now, I'm working on a special drill one. I mean, it's a small one. It won't take long, but um, the only reason that I'm doing that is because only one of us can sit here at a time. So I diamond paint more than Tammy does. So I like to give her a chance rather than sitting here and just doing most of it. Uh, the thing about doing two is you've got to set up your drills for two. To me, that's a pain having to kit up. You've got two kits kitted up, then you've got two kits to kit down. I hate kitting up and kitting down. Just don't like it at all. I just like the diamond paint. So it means you need more storage because you've already, well, again, it depends how you work, but if I've already got a case or cases set up with the colours for the one that I'm doing, I need to have another case or two cases for the other one as well. So in general, it's one at a time. I can let you see the one that I'm working on. I've only got one colour left to do in it, but it is a special drills and it's a partial. Most of it doesn't have glue on it. Give me a second, I'll go round to my side and get it. So this is what I'm working on. I'll move the drills before I knock them. So this is a partial with special drills. The background is not sticky. It's only where the drills are. So again, kind of hard to see. Camera doesn't want to focus, but so all I've really got to do is this area up here is glue, and this area in here, and all it is green special drills. That's all I've got left. So I'll do this, and then I'll look for another. I've got a lot of small ones, but the thing about the special drills is I don't even bother putting the drills in containers. I just work straight from the bags. So there's only 6 colours in this. Well, 6 drills, different drills. I suppose you could say 6 colours. There's only 6. So all I did was cut open bag 1 and just did everything for bag 1, then 2, 3, 4. No, I didn't. I skipped because these big ones were number 6. These big pieces were number 6, and I thought I'll just do them, get them done. And number 5 was the pearls up the nose. It didn't take long. Place 5 done. So I left the one with the most colour till last. So I've just got, like I said, the hat. This was, I'm trying to remember, this was from onedaysaving.com, I think. And they actually sent me this as they had got in touch and asked if I would do another review. So I had picked one or two, and they emailed me. Start again. I emailed them and said, okay, I would like to have a look at these ones. And they got back to me and said, yep, no problem. Would it be okay if we sent you this one as well? And they just gave me a link. So I had a look, and initially I thought this isn't something that I would pick personally. Like, look at it and think, I'm going to get that. I'm not that big on the special drill ones. I prefer to do full canvas diamond painting. But they were going to send it, so I said, yeah, send it. It's something different. It's very different from anything I've done. And I think it actually looks okay. The light isn't catching it right. I would need to change the lighting in here to get this right, because the position of the camera, it doesn't really focus unless I get away down here. But it does actually look okay. Now they've got, this one is a green hat. They've got a series of them. The masks are slightly different, but the theme is the same. It's got the black background. One is green, one is red. I think one is blue, and there might be a fourth one. And I thought, these actually, if you had these, if you were into sort of theatrics and that type of thing, if you had the set of them in a row somewhere, I think it would look pretty cool. So I've never done anything like with a mask before. So as I said, initially, if I had looked at this, been skimming through, the chances are I probably wouldn't even see it, because I don't tend to click on special drills section. I just prefer the normal diamond paintings. Doesn't matter if it's round or square, but I prefer the full coverage thing. But after saying that, it doesn't look bad at all. It's going to look more green when I finish it. But that's all I've got to do with that. I've just to fill in all that green. So it won't take long. But I'll do that when Tammy comes in and decides she wants to work on this. She can do this, and I'll go over to my table and just work on this. As I said, I've got a lot of small diamond paintings that I could probably work from the bag. In fact, I would probably look for a small one that comes with resealable bags and just work for the bags. I do have other containers, but since we started using these cases, I'll put this back first. Since we started using these cases that we use, it's Tic Tac containers, which is nothing new. I've always used Tic Tac containers, but the old style is like this: the plastic box with the Tic Tac boxes inside. The problem with them is it can be awkward to pick a number out from the middle, and then when you do, the numbers, especially because we're on a sloped table, the one above slides down into the space, and then it can sometimes be kind of awkward to get it back in. When you're setting them up, they fall over, and you've got to take out more so you can get your finger in to pull them back up, that type of thing. Just awkward. And then Over time, the catches tend to snap, but I used this sort of thing for a long time. But then I saw, if I can reach, I saw these cases. Initially, it was for not round drills, round containers, which I don't really. I like the Tic Tacs where you just pop them open and snap them shut. Um, Unscrewing lids and screwing lids back on to me is just a pain. So I like the Tic Tacs. So eventually I saw these and I thought this is better because you can see the containers are in individual foam slots. So the containers are more separated. It's easier to pick them up. If the thing is tilted at an angle, they don't move, they don't fall out, they don't fall over, and it just works really, really well. You've got a mesh piece in the lid so you can keep your labels and your keys, extra bags of drills if you've got any, you can keep them in here. So everything fits in one case. When I did Batman from Diamond Art Club, I had over 100,000 drills in this case. So I had everything in the case, but that was because I was using these things as well. But I put them inside the lid, and I could close it. So I had over 100,000 drills in that one case. I like to have all the drills opened and in front of me. So I'm not turning to the side to a separate table to pick up drills and that type of thing. I like everything to be in front of me. So I have like my trays, um, all my like tweezers, pens, key, containers, everything is in front of me within reach. And as I said, normally this is all covered up with these mats, and all I've got exposed is this little piece. So I've got a big area that I can put everything. And I've been working like that for a long time. So that's the way that both of us work. So these containers were okay when I first got them, but after switching to the case, just so much better. Just neater, looks better. We've actually got 4 of these because these hold was it 80? Yeah, 80. It would hold 80 different colours. But because some of the diamond paintings I've done have had more than 80 colours, I got a second box. And I'm not going to go through how I work it, but um, if I have extra, like more than one container's worth of colour, I take an empty one for the other case and I move everything along. But I did a video about that somewhere. So basically, I work from 2 cases most of the time, even if I have less than 80 colours, because sometimes you'll get a lot of one colour. Tic Tac containers only hold 1,000. And a lot of people say I don't like Tic Tacs because they only hold 1,000. But if you look at your key, a lot of the time, most of the colours you've got have less than 1,000 drills, but you have the occasional ones that have more. So you could maybe opt for this type of idea. Just depends how many more. Or you can shuffle. Or you could have the bags that you haven't opened in the lid. So they're all in the same place. You don't have to go looking for them. Different ways to work it. I mean, I've definitely got my own way that I work, and I have done a video about it somewhere. What I called it, can't remember. How to organise your drills. I don't know. But I have done something where I explained it and showed it and explained the way I work. And some people it might appeal. Some people I know it won't because they don't like Tic Tacs. I like the Tic Tacs because they just pop open, pop shut. People talk about the actual top part comes off. It doesn't if you put a piece of sellotape. I've got these taped over. The labels are permanent. like this is always going to be box 63. And again, the sellotape is over the top of the label, because if you don't do that, it fades. This is number 65 that I forgot to put sellotape over. They were all printed at the same time. And then I noticed it was getting faint, and I thought, what happened to that? And then I realised there was no tape on it. So I put tape over it and kept it, but because I wanted to show that if it ever came up, that the labels will fade if you use this where you've got certain numbers, like if you go by numbers, and that box is always whatever number. If you don't put tape over it, over time, the numbering will start to fade. So just another handy hint, I suppose. But the main thing is put a piece of tape over the top, and that stops the whole lid coming off. So that solves that problem. And you can't see it. I mean, when you look at it, you don't notice it. It's not an eyesore or anything. Well, okay, you might. I mean, if you're really looking at it, but when you're looking at it in the case, you don't see the tape. These ones, I hadn't come up with the idea yet. I just used the numbered labels that came with the actual box. So these, yeah, I was going to say they don't. They actually do. I have put sellotape over the top of them. I think I did that because I thought these labels over time are going to start to lift up. That's another thing. Labels will start to peel back. So I use sellotape, holds them flat, keeps them clean. So yeah, that's the handy hint. Tape your Tic Tac containers. Then the lids don't fall off and things don't spill out by accident. So totally sidetracked, but I don't mind at all. I'd rather be talking about things that people want to know or talk about than just sitting diamond painting. Once I start talking, the diamond painting goes out the window, but that's how it works. But I still hate kitting up and kitting down. My least favourite parts by far. That's what happens if you don't have mats. So this is the junk. This isn't just from this. I tend to just throw things in here, and then when I've got enough, I put them in a shadow box. Since I'm talking about it, I'll go and get it. So any reject drills or drills that don't have DMC codes, so I don't know the exact colour, they go in the shadow box. So you can see they're all loose inside. There's a slot in the top. So what I do is once I get quite a few in here, I pour them in that slot, and then it builds up a picture. You can see the different colours. There's some special drills in there as well. So the reason that I do that is I don't like to throw drills out, because we've got enough problems with plastic. And I can't see anybody with the best intentions recycling something that size. I can just see this ending up in the sea like everything else, and fish eating it because I think it's food. So I don't throw away any drills. If I have the DMC code, they get kept. They get put in resealable bags, and they're numbered and labelled with the DMC codes. And then it has happened where either Tammy or I have run out of a colour. So we just go to our box. We've got a box for rounds, a box for squares. It's baseball card boxes, and then we've got quite big resealable bags. We've numbered the DMC number on them, and we'll go and get the spares from there. But to be fair, it's very, very seldom that we've ran out of colour. So we've got a stack of spares of various colours. We don't have every colour yet. I'm quite surprised. And all the junk, all the misshapen ones, the ones with the tabs, the ones with the holes in them, that type of thing, just go in here. Eventually it'll fill up and then we'll get another one. I mean, some people put them in jars and things as well. They can be quite decorative sitting on a shelf. But just a way to avoid throwing all this plastic out. And you'll see that in the back of most of the unboxing videos. So now you know what it is you're looking at. So move this somewhere where it won't get in the road. And back to R. Put the tweezers out of the way because I've got a habit of just picking up tweezers because I normally use tweezers. But as I said before, these rounds are just a bit too shallow in the edges and they keep sliding off. So I don't bother trying. But for some reason the ABs have a higher edge around them and I can use them with tweezers no problem. So that's good because I know the coating on the ABs can pull the wax out the pens. So I've always used tweezers for ABs. It's kind of weird for me sitting here and I'm not listening to music because that's normally what I'm doing. All I can hear is the fan in the laptop. I have to be kind of careful with this because I'm working on R and right next to it is P and the background colour is virtually the same. If the light might fade it out, P and R, you can't see it. I've got R is number 17, P is number 19. The background colours are virtually the same and there's only a little line of a difference. So definitely need to concentrate doing them. The other thing that we do is because we work with these mats and we cover everything up, it means we cover up the key. If it's Diamond Art Club, they come with the key like this, and these are pre-cut labels. So the idea is that you peel the labels off, you put them on your containers, then you've got the number and the symbol. We don't do that. We just go by the number. So I was just thinking about this. If you peel these off and put them on your containers, when you go to do your next one, you have to peel the labels off your containers. So what do you do with them? Do you try and put them back in order in here? They're never going to end up the way they look just now. So then you lose the key. So if you lose a drill at some point, you notice in a diamond painting that you've done, there's a drill missing, and you can see the symbol. You don't have a key unless you keep it like this, I suppose. But what we do is when we work on a diamond painting, we cut the key out, the one that's printed on the canvas. So we have it, that's what I was showing. I actually cut this off the canvas. I've got the other one because most canvases have two keys, one on the left, one on the right. So we do that and use this as our guide. So we can just pick it up and put it anywhere. To stop it moving about, we put a cover minder on it. So that's a cover minder with a magnet on the back. Gives it a bit of weight. So wherever you drop it, it just sits. It's not like a sheet of paper. It's not going to get knocked and stick on the glue. The other thing is the canvas doesn't stick to the glue. If that had been a sheet of paper I just did that with, I would be ripping that off and there would be paper stuck to the glue. So even if we do accidentally knock them and they go over the glue, they don't stick. So another handy hint, maybe, if people want to do that. I cut that off because at the end, what I'll do is I'll trim the sides off completely. So I would be cutting this off anyway. Because the way that I frame them now is with magnetic frames. Initially, when I started diamond painting, I would get frames with the frame with the glass. And then you start to find that some of these sizes, especially Diamond Art Club, are really weird sizes. They're not standard. You can't just walk into a shop and buy whatever size it is frame. I mean, this is 119 by something. 119 by 56. The chances of walking into a place that sells frames and them having a 119 by 56 is about zero. So then you have to get it custom made, and then it costs extra money, and then you've got the glass, which adds extra weight. So we use magnetic frames now. But we found out that once you start getting to the big sizes, the canvas starts getting really heavy. And I've got one, a custom that I did. Where did I put my phone? That I called the Hoverfly. For obvious reasons. I'll find it. This was a picture that I took in Copenhagen. I was actually taking a close-up picture of a flower, and just as I took the picture, a hoverfly landed. So I took a picture and then I edited it with an art package, and getting the focus. I came up with this design, and I did that as a custom diamond painting, and it is 80 by 75. So I did that, put it up with a magnetic frame, so it's just magnets that's holding up. Seemed to work okay. It had been there for months, and then one day I was in the living room and I just heard a noise, a sort of scraping noise. The canvas had fallen out the frame. Well, yeah, I suppose out the frame, out from between the magnets. Even though I'd actually glued it, I used Gorilla Glue to glue the canvas to the frame and thought that'll be fine, that'll hold it. It didn't. After it had fallen, I realised that the glue had went on the surface of the canvas, but it hadn't soaked through to the wood in the back. I thought the glue would soak right through and stick, and it didn't. So I'd been hanging up by magnets, and eventually it just slipped out. And I think only 9 drills came off, which was very surprising. So I fixed that, put the drills back, and then stapled the canvas to the wooden strip. So that one is stapled on. And for all the big ones, I would definitely, if you're going to go for magnetic frames, don't rely on the magnets. They are not going to hold the weight. Magnetic frames were designed to hold posters, like paper posters. They're not designed to hold weight. So if you're going to be doing a big canvas and you decide to go with magnetic frames, staple it to the wood. The other reason that I use magnetic frames is there's no glass or perspex. So you don't get any reflections when you're standing in front of it, or if you're anywhere in the room. You've got the sun shining in, you've got windows and things, you've got lights if it's dark, and you've got lights on in the room. If you've got glass, you're going to see the light in the picture. Or if you've got a window, you're going to see the window in the picture in daylight. And that was driving me nuts. When I look at them, I want to see the picture. I don't want to see reflections. I don't want it to act like a mirror. So I bought a magnetic frame and tried it, and it works fine. I can be anywhere in the room and look at the picture, and I can see all of the picture. People talk about dust. I have had the diamond paint. Some of the diamond paints have been hanging up for a year and a half. They've never been dusted, and they look fine. I'm not saying there isn't dust on them, but I can't see it. Like, just walking past, I can't see it. Even the little tin soldier, I had a look at that up close maybe a few months ago just to see what I could see, and I couldn't see dust. But as I said, I know there must be, but it isn't obvious. There again, we don't have cats or dogs. Um, I don't know how much a difference that would make. Cat and dog hairs, to me, tend to be on the floor, ground level. Um, I mean, we've got Tammy's eldest daughter sometimes brings her German Shepherd here, and he sheds a lot of hair, but we don't find the hair on the walls or anything. It's always on the floor. So the chances, I mean, I suppose, yeah, I know the hairs can float up in the air, and I don't know if it would really make that much of a difference. But it's just the counter side of that. It's like, okay, I can put glass in front of it so it doesn't get any dust. But in the summertime, when the sun's shining, all I'm looking at is reflections of the windows that are on the opposite wall. Or at night, I'm looking at a reflection of a table lamp. Or when I'm trying to take a picture, I'm looking at me holding my phone trying to take a picture. It drives me crazy. So no more glass, no more perspex. The problem with perspex is if it gets scratched at all, it's very soft, scratches very easily. That scratch is there for good. It's not like glass. Glass doesn't really scratch unless you're scoring it with something like metal or a diamond or something. Whereas perspex, even just wiping it, wiping dust on it, over time it'll make it go foggy and you'll never fix it. But perspex makes the frame a lot lighter. Glass adds a lot of extra weight. But it's a big cost. I mean, I did an 80 by 100 custom, and I got that professionally framed, and that cost a fortune. And then I started thinking, hang on a minute, we're doing a lot of diamond paintings, and we're planning to hang them probably all at some point, because what we do is rotate them. So I've got a big portfolio folder thing. It's more like a bag that we lay flat. And we have one that has the canvases. When I do the unboxings, all the canvases are in one. And then we've got another one, all the diamond paintings that are finished are laid flat in there. So all we do is swap them out. I mean, we've got ones that are framed, and they're basically just against the wall with a sheet of cardboard in between them so they don't scratch each other. But we're not going to do that anymore. It's going to be no glass, no perspex, because we want to see the pictures. Simple as that. Small frames, small canvases will work with magnetic frames, no problem. It's once you start to get to the bigger sizes, that extra weight. As I said, those things are really designed for posters, like thin paper. And we're putting up a canvas with thousands of little pieces of plastic, which weigh quite a bit. But once you've got quite a few thousand, like the Batman, I think it's just under 100,000 drills. There's a fair bit of weight in 100,000 drills, and just the canvas itself, because it's pretty big. So that's the next one I'm going to set up. I'm going to staple that to a frame. I need to swap it out because the little tin soldier is the one that's been sitting in the background for a long time when I do the videos. I'm going to be taking that to work, so it's going to be hanging up in the works canteen over Christmas. So I need to hang something else, and I think I'm going to hang up Batman. Put him up there over Christmas. Very festive, but yeah, it changes scenery for people that watch the videos as well. But I haven't been doing videos recently because of this cold. It's not as bad now, but you can hear my voice is still really rough. But I'm not coughing anywhere near as much. So I didn't record any unboxings because I don't know when I'm going to cough or sneeze or sniff, and I could be three quarters of the way through a video and then suddenly take a coughing fit, and that sort of ruins the video. So I don't know. I think maybe another week and then I'll start doing videos again. I've got a lot of canvases to unbox. I've got accessories to unbox. I've got some pens to unbox or unbag, whatever you want to call it. I've got some videos of what I do about tips and advice and things as well, stuff that I haven't really spoke about. So I've got a lot of videos still to do. So it's not that I've ran out of ideas or anything like that. It's just I need to be my voice needs to be better than it is to record them. So yeah, I think another week and then you should start seeing more videos appearing again. So that's enough for today, I think. An hour and a half. I'll rest my voice, and it's getting close to dinner time as well. So thanks for watching and dropping in, spending a bit of time asking questions. And again, sorry to hear about your mom, Virginia. I know it's a really hard time, but hopefully doing diamond painting will help. I'm sure it will actually. It is a very relaxing hobby, so yeah. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. And if you watched the replay and you've stayed all this time, you are a trooper. So I always appreciate it when people comment on the videos as well, just so I know that people have actually watched at least little bits of it, if nothing else, and they've enjoyed some of it. Maybe learned something, maybe not. I don't know. But the main thing is, I know a lot of people diamond paint while they're listening to these things. So if that's you, let me know what you're working on. I'm always interested to hear what people are working on. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.